Ariel Smith, the president has disclosed that funds will be made available for the completion of the Legon Sports Stadium, which has been abandoned since 2009.
Mr. Speaker, Ghana won last year the bid to host the 13th All-Africa Games. With the opportunity to upgrade sporting infrastructure in the country and position our nation as a preferred destination for the development of sporting disciplines on the continent. We began renovating and upgrading our sporting infrastructure, such as the Accra and Cape Coast Sports Stadia and the Azuma Nelson Sports Complex in Kaneshie, and a complete refurbishment of sports facilities across the country. Funds have also been released for the completion of the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, started by the Kufuor-led MPP government, but abandoned soon after 2009. The Ghanaian people are also expectant of a return to normalcy of all football-related activities as soon as possible, and the Normalization Committee is working to ensure that they meet the March deadline.
To boxing, and former world champion Joshua Clottey has cautioned Isaac Dogbe to be more defensive in his rematch against Emmanuel Navarrete in April this year. You will recall that Dogbe was beaten brutally by Navarrete when they last fought in 2018.
The guy that he fought, you people, is a very sample like Margarito. If he were, he throw punches any angle. I fought with Margarito. I broke my hands. 1, 2, 1, 4th and 5th round. I was stuck there till the 12th rounds without even no hands. Because I have a good defense. You have to defend. This is boxing. You have to defend. And Dogbe is a good puncher. But when you don't mix with defensive, you cannot. I think the rematch that is going to fight, I was thinking about it. If I were him, I think I feel like he have to fight 1-2-0 fight in Ghana. Okay. To, take off the loose, to feel refreshing, feel like you're a winner before you go in there. The guy that is going to fight, he might win. Dogbe might win, but it's a very tough fight. Because this guy, he throw punches any angle. Do we know if Dogbe learn defense? If Dogbe cannot defend, it's going to be the similar situation. Because the guy keeps throwing punches at Dogbe, and it feels like the punches that he throw at Dogbe has Dogbe. That's why Dogbe started declaring going back. So when it's the same thing, it's going to be the same thing. You have to defend what you punch. When you punch, you have to defend. If you don't defend, they punching you, you punching him. Who for the punches at Maran?
Sage advice from Joshua Clottey, who is announcing a return to boxing, and that was part of the interview you just saw with Nathaniel Ato. You can watch it later in full on our subsequent bulletins. To para-athletes, and Ghana's para-athletes Bocho Nkegbe has called for support as he prepares for Tokyo 2020. He was in the studio about 3 weeks ago, but he's reiterated the call as he starts training on the 1st of March.
I can say that the preparation has been so good. The workout I've been following by my coach, even though he's not here, but I believe in self-discipline, even though he's not seeing me, but whatever I do will show on my performance as I'm with him. So I take everything seriously. But so far, I'm ready in terms of maybe my next test will be my competition to see how I will be before the All-African Games. The training has been rough and smooth. The rough aspect was that I use road because there's no track at the moment in Accra. Ewak is not something good to ride home about, so there's no track. So at the moment I'm training on roller and I'm doing gym work, and I use the road a lot. The challenge has been sometimes struggle with the car, sometimes to move around within Accra. But having the roller which can train indoor has helped a lot, and I have a team who is working around me, making sure even sometimes they talk to the drivers. So my moving to the second phase will be more smoother because I have access to the track, I have access to the gym, and I have access to the road. That will help me a lot, and I can say that before returning from Cape Coast, I will be in a full shape.
There is a saying that catch them young, and for most sports, this is a truism. Benedict Owusu-Dankwa tells a story as in most sports disciplines, hoping to make a huge impact in future, normally use this saying as either their motto or a theme for a program. And this is what has moved Ghana's ambassador designate to the Kingdom of Belgium and permanent representative to the European Union, His Excellency Mrs. Harriet Siam Boateng, to make a donation of tennis equipment to the Accra Lawn Tennis Club.
Her Excellency Mrs. Harriet Siam Boateng, a former tennis player herself, presented the items, which comprised of tennis rackets, balls, shoes to the Ridge Church School Tennis Club and the Accra Lawn Tennis Club. According to her, the donation of the tennis equipment is to ensure that young tennis players enjoy the opportunity to further and improve on their training.
For what tennis has done for us as girls growing up, we should always try and contribute to the development of the game wherever we are. So we took it upon ourselves, I think 4 years ago, to always approach other tennis clubs abroad to donate items to us. Some are brand new, some are slightly used. When they are changing, because of the weather, they change their equipment more often. So they send them to us. We take the cost of shipping and then we do donations. We've done 2 donations in Winneba Sports Club 2-3 years ago. And today we thought that we would do it for the young children of Richard School and for the tennis court that brought us up.
Mr. Peter Annan, a member of the Ghana Tennis Federation and also an executive member of the Accra Lawn Tennis Club, received the items. He lauded Mrs. Harriet Siam Boateng for the gesture and asked other individuals, groups and organizations to emulate the ambassador designate.
I think the future is there and bright, but our worry is about education. You know, when it gets to a time of coming to play tennis, some of the parents want them to go and learn more than even playing tennis. But we are forcing them that they should play. So far, since we started with the Ridge Church, we have got a lot of talents. But we can't continue because they can only play once in a week. And we are about to see the parents, if they can allow them to come and register in the club so that they can continue. Because they are doing well. And I can assure you that within a couple of years, they become the stars in the country. But the school is the problem. But you can't deny them. The school comes first. And I have the belief that there's a talent in the country. We can bring a lot of young girls to the national level in the future.
There's more sports on mygeoonline.com, including the results of the Europa League matches that will be played tonight. I'm Gary L. Smith, and that's the sport for now.